different funds have come out now, and they're late on their mortgage payments to their lenders, and that's not a good sign. I don't see that turning around. I think it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath before it gets better.
You heard it right here. Alarming words. Well, when you say bloodbath, that's pretty alarming. Barbara Corcoran on commercial real estate. Obviously, Florida has been the gift that just keeps on giving for anybody who is a seller in this market. It looks to some bubblicious. I asked Barbara Corcoran that. She said, nah, it's not a bubble. Not in Florida. Not right now.
I think we're getting very overbuilt in a lot of categories here. There's no question about it. Look, what people don't understand about Florida is the people that came here were going to come here. I mean, basically, the feeder cities to South Florida, New York and Philadelphia and Boston, Chicago, when you have a pandemic in those cities, you had to shut those cities down because subways and high-rise buildings, they shut down, and at the same time you invent Zoom and Teams, and people that were going to come here in 2023, 24, 25, 26, you know what? They all came at once in 2021 and 22. And so then what does that do? It creates an enormous amount of activity. It creates tremendous demand in a supply-constrained market. Prices go through the roof, and a lot of very naive people think that's the new normal. In fact, not only is it not the new normal, a lot of people that would have been coming next year have already come here. So I think we're going to have an inward migration is going to slow down a lot. The other thing we have as a new factor, which we never had before, is a lot of the people that were coming here before, remember, they were coming to Florida in 2021, 22.
Right.
They could sell their house in Connecticut at a nice price because it was way up in value, and they'd buy a cheaper house here with a 2.5% loan. Now they have to sell the house in Greenwich that has a 2.5% loan and buy one here that's much more expensive with a 6.5% loan. So we're going to have a little bit of a slowdown in demand, and I think we've created an enormous amount of supply. So things are going to be tough. I love Florida, bullish as anybody, but you know, we're going to be hitting a bump in the road now.
Hi, it's Tisha Powell. Welcome to American TV News. We're just reminding you to hit the free like and that free subscribe button. It helps out a lot. Please subscribe, as it really helps, and it shows us that you're engaged, and it shows us the shows we're supposed to do. And here are 3 benefits of subscribing. Number 1, you learn money and you earn money. There are people who started with us. They got in at Bitcoin at 24. It's at 36,000. So they're up and they're thanking us, and we're happy for those. And then now we're going to start our grand prizes where we hit 100,000 subscribers. We have 1.7 million views and counting. So we know this network is working. And you've got to check out the tag products. They are from Sephora. They are beautiful, and not one tag product today is over $100. We understand you're in an inflation, and we want you to get the best products under $100. So check them out. We're back to talk real estate. See you real soon. Before we talk about Jeff Greene, let's read what the housing market, the news is talking about it. So we're reading JW Lending. It says inflation was out of control in 1970 for many reasons. Here are a few of them. More bank lending. That was one of them. Inflation looks eerie similar to 1970. That's according to JW Lending. A good thing for those of us who are tied to real estate. You hear that? That's from JW Lending. And what's in your business? It says millennials are replaying their parents' housing market journey as first-time buyers in their 30s flood into an unaffordable market. And in the Washington Post, it's talking about a story with a gentleman and his wife. 36 years ago, they moved to Nevada and they sold a house for $480. That gave them enough money to buy a house cash for $275. And according to Washington Post, baby boomers are buying up all the houses. This year, the median age for a repeat buyer was 58 years old. Did you hear that? 58 years old. And in the New York Times, it has a house, $1.6 million home in California, 1877 cottage, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom on 0.3 acre of lot. That's sold in California for $1.6 million. So now we're going to put together what Jeff Greene said, and I'm going to teach you how you can still buy real estate in this market, how to invest in real estate, even though interest rate is at 8%. So Jeff Greene was on Fox. He's a billionaire. And for those who don't know, he's like living he's on Palm Beach Island, near Mar-a-Lago. It's a beautiful island where all the billionaires live in Florida. Jeff Greene is on Fox. He talked about the commercial real estate crashing. He said residential is tight. As you know, 70% of people who own a home today have a mortgage rate of 4% or less. So there's no incentive for them to sell. 2008 and 2020 was the same prices, except in 2020 there was a better interest rate, 2%. Airbnb caused a lot of people to scoop up second homes, and Wall Street today owns a lot of the homes. Can you beat this inflation through real estate? Absolutely, it depends. When did you buy a home? Did you buy a home in 2020, 2021, or 2022? Then you're looking good. Do you plan on buying a home today? Then watch out for the location. The better the location, the better the home. And interest rates is at 8%. If you buy a home at 8%, it will take you, according to analysts, 13 years before you make a profit. So you got to buy a home when real estate or interest rate is dipping, or you're going to have to buy down. We'll talk more about that. Folks, go ahead and hit that free like and that free subscribe button. I'm Tisha Powell, former Wall Street attorney, and I'm here to answer your real estate questions. How can a beginning person invest in real estate? Well, if you're going to invest in real estate, it means that you're going to own at least 2 properties. One you live into, one you're renting out. So you want to acquire your first property, you must have a loan. You're going to end up with a loan on 2 properties, and you must have a down payment. You must meet the lender's requirement in order to become an investor. So until you can get a loan, there's no investing going on. So contact your lender now and get yourself a pre-approved letter. The best thing to do now, if you're getting into the real estate market, is to buy a townhome. A townhome is less competition from Wall Street. It's $265,000 average value and 3% down, which is about $9,000. You can get a grant if you're a first-time home buyer and you're a U.S. citizen or green card holder, or you can save for your down payment. Let's say you already have the first home going. Congratulations. Now you're off to your second home. What do you need to do? You're going to rent out the second home. So I just did a calculation for you because this is the best way to show it to you. If the house is appraising for $400, you owe bank $200. $200 you can use as a down payment for your second home. The math must make sense. It means that the mortgage must cover the second loan. All right? The rent must cover the loan. If the rent doesn't cover the loan, do not do it. You cannot afford to be negative cash flow in a recession. Here are some of the pros and cons right now of buying a home in this market. Number 1, the inflation. Number 2, it's an asset. Number 3, passive income. Look for dips in interest rates. Buy down, adjustable interest only. Here are some of the disadvantage. 8% is really hard. There's a limited supply. A single family home is $430 and a home is $265. It's going to take you 13 years to make the money back. So I am just telling you, this is what you need to do in order to buy a home. Invest. Research. Start with Google or Zillow. The math must make sense. If the rent isn't covering it or you can't get a roommate, think something else. You must have a lender that pre-approve it. You should look into townhomes that are $265. Look into hot areas that appreciate really fast so you can make your money. Look for adjustable mortgages. Look for buy down. Look for interest only. Look for dips. Listen for Jerome Powell when he's dropping interest rate. Listen for dips every day. Get long term. Hold on to the property for the next 13 years. And it must pay for itself, meaning the rent must cover the mortgage.